We're going to go ahead today and cover the isotonic delivery system. We're going to talk about quality nutrients and quality control, and we're going to answer some of those questions for you. I often encourage people to do what I call live life vibrantly. To do that, you need to sleep well. You need to be physically fit or be taking movement steps to getting physically fit. You need to think about how you will support the day-to-day stressors, and you always want to make sure that you're filling in gaps where your diet falls short with healthy nutrients, and they can come in the form of supplementation. First rule to being well is eating well. I like to encourage people to use nutritional supplements to help them achieve their eating well goals. So one reason I do this is because so many people have a different appreciation for what is healthy. We can be looking at the exact same thing in front of us, and we will describe that differently, right? These two are looking at that fishbowl. One has food on the brain, and the other one is so enamored with life in that bowl, right? And so we often look at health very differently, diet very differently. And as a result of that, we prioritize certain health factors differently. So what I encourage you to do is to think more about what people say they want, right? Versus what people actually want. Now, what people actually want, they say, do you have a B complex? They say, do you have an antioxidant? But what they're actually wanting is more energy, a better night's sleep, something to support their mood or their longevity, optimal aging, something that can support their stress response and even support a healthy immune response. Many individuals will look towards diet, lifestyle, stress management, supplementation, and exercise to simply improve their quality of life or sexual health and well-being. What does this tell you? That there is no one single way to achieve optimal health. Each and every one of us has our own version of what quality of life looks like, and therefore will gravitate towards supplementation, the isotonic delivery system, or the combination of healthy nutrition and weight management support products, all in our own time and in our own way. So what I would like to encourage us to do is to request that people consider what steps are you willing to commit to achieve optimal health. What steps are you willing to commit to reach your energy goals, your quality of life goals, right? I often say, let's start with a multivitamin, an antioxidant, an omega-3 fatty acid, because a well-rounded approach to longevity includes having a solid foundation. It's in fact this multifaceted, multi-pronged approach that we can establish as the rule to longevity and overall health. So we want to encourage people to look at their diet, intentional movement, and proper supplementation so they can achieve healthy aging and metabolism on their terms, because there is no one way to achieve optimal health. I'll often say to people, you eat a rainbow of colors. Why are you not supplementing the exact same way? We get the most coverage in our health, our energy goals, our aging goals, even our weight management goals by eating a diversity of foods, never focusing just on the fat, just on the carbohydrate, or just on the protein. Well, your supplementation should look a lot like a salad. It should look a lot like your diet. Different varieties of nutrients need to be coming in from different sources. That's one way to talk about building out a better health and nutrition regimen. Because whether we're talking about healthy development in our children, being able to be as physically fit or metabolically well as we can, managing our stress, our bones, our immune system on a regular basis, we want to think about the role of healthy nutrition supplementation. We want to think about the role of healthy movement, and we want to think about the role that the isotonic delivery can offer to differentiate one brand from another in the health and nutrition marketplace. And that's why I love to look at the benefits of the isotonic family. Things like OPC3, a support of a complex of B vitamins, a comprehensive multivitamin and multimineral. What are the benefits of calcium, not just in an aging body or in aging bones, but for cardiovascular support, for brain connectivity? Vitamin D may be the single most cost-effective step you or a customer takes to achieve optimal well-being. Vitamin C might be the most commonly recommended supplement in the health and nutrition marketplace. What about achieving a superior delivery system? Rather than just seeking out a vitamin C, what if we talked more about seeking out a better delivery system behind your vitamin C? Many people, from an aging standpoint, from a fitness standpoint, are looking for blood sugar support and energy support. Well, those answers, remember what I said, people will say that they are looking for a supplement, but what they're actually looking for is better glycemic balance. They're looking for immune support. They're looking for something to help them with their stress or their metabolism, right? And that's where things like isochrome powder are so powerful, a mix of coenzyme Q10, chromium and carnitine. And then there's digestive enzymes. You've heard me say it. I hope you share it with your community. The road to health is paved with good intestines. If we want to achieve well-being, we'll make sure that our belly, our intestine, our microbiota are in good working order. And that, my friends, is the Isotonic Advantage. We already know that a wide majority of adults are already taking health and nutrition products. We know that it is a $1 billion plus market to be focused on things like multivitamins, omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D. But here what we're talking about doing is bringing it to the table with a unique delivery system that copies nature. What do I mean when I say it copies nature? Well, your body is set up to absorb nutrients at a certain, what is referred to as isomolar range. When we blend these powdered active ingredients with inactive ingredients like citric acid, malic acid, glucose and fructose, potassium bicarbonate, we are creating a solution that the body recognizes as self, that the body, the stomach, and sensory cells at the base of the stomach recognize as being in a proper hyperosmotic range. That isomolar range, that hyperosmotic range, that specialized solution is calculated in such a way, buffered in such a way that it stimulates those sensory cells and moves everything into the small intestine very efficiently. And that is the isotonic superior delivery. They are advanced nutraceuticals formulated for superior delivery and ultimately the results that your customers are looking for. If you want to, and we'll often say this, if you want to get the most of your money out of your money or out of your supplement, you'll look at the isotonic line, because it is not just a delivery system that mimics the body's natural movement of solution from the stomach into the small intestine. It is also a product with no fillers and binders, nothing to hold up or bind up those active nutrients, making them more available for absorption. The glucose and the fructose in any of the Isotonix products help with a nutrient gradient or a fluid gradient in the intestine so that they are readily absorbed and efficient, not just efficiently delivered. It is in fact that absorption and concentration that we focused on when we built the isotonic line. We wanted to make sure that product was delivered to the small intestine very efficiently. and in what we would call a rapid but controlled manner, right? Because the stomach empties itself in squirts, we wanted to make sure that the solution was moved very efficiently from the stomach into the small intestine. And we did this by balancing its pH and its isomolar range with the specialized concentration of nutrients. But because of the base on each one of the isotonics being unique to the active ingredients, we can ensure that not only do isotonics work together, right? But that if you were to take them one or in combination, that they will always be efficiently delivered to the small intestine, concentrated and ready for absorption. Absorption and concentration are two leading factors that we're looking for when we want to know if our product will produce results. The isotonic delivery takes both of these factors into consideration when developing the brand. The isotonic supplement in this isotonic fluid is that specialized isomolar range. It was specifically designed for maximum absorption with minimal nutrient loss. How can we make such a claim? Well, when a product is rendered into this hyperosmotic form, when it is rendered into this specially balanced solution, it spends no appreciable amount of time in the stomach. It is quickly moved to the small intestine. In doing so, because it doesn't spend a lot of time in the stomach, it is also not exposed to stomach acid for a prolonged period of time. That's one of the reasons why it can maintain such a high nutrient concentration. Remember, that was one of the principles for making sure that a product would give us the kind of health benefits we are looking for. What was the second principle of the isotonic delivery system, right? It was better absorption. It was not just efficient delivery, but actually introducing a solution to the small intestine where the fructose and the glucose, the carbohydrates in the product, facilitate the absorption or the movement and transport of those nutrients across the cell membrane. Because when we looked at research on gastric emptying, we know, as I said, the stomach empties in squirts. The more sugar or carbohydrates on load in the stomach will slow the stomach emptying. And that's one of the reasons why the sugars in isotonics can mix with the natural sensory cells at the base of the stomach to be recognized as self, but also copy the physiology of the stomach where it's emptying in squirts, so we can make sure it's an efficient delivery, but not too rapid a delivery. Vitamins do not wait in line. Antioxidants do not wait in line to be absorbed. So this efficient delivery that copies nature, copies the body's natural physiology, is one of the ways that we can support concentration and absorption. That is the isotonic delivery. In the time it takes for most pills and capsules to disintegrate, their contents may be exposed to stomach acid, degrading those contents. Now, it's important to note that not all things can be rendered isotonic, and that's why we talk about multiple delivery systems through the Market Hong Kong product offerings. What's important to note is that our company doesn't just do a good job with isotonics. We do a good job with delivery of all of the products. We pay attention to the very best ways to deliver a product. And one thing that's been shown is that with water-soluble nutrients, select fat-soluble vitamins, and the importance of essential minerals, when they are delivered in an isotonic form, as described previously, we get that better concentration, and the sugars in this product help with the absorption. It's the isotonic delivery that can offer a pH balanced, highly concentrated nutrient delivery for you and your customers. Now, as I mentioned, sugar content does strongly influence the rate of gastric emptying. So when customers ask, why is there sugar in this product? One, because it helps with that isotonic tone or that isomolar range that we need these nutrients to be in. Sugar contributes to the isotonicity or that isomolar range. Sugar controls, this is number 2, controls for gastric emptying. What that means is how quickly something leaves the stomach. The more carbohydrates on board, the slower things are moved from the stomach. And that's often why we'll recommend somewhere between 4 and 8 capsules of isotonics at a time. And then encourage people to look at different times of the day to take things like digestive enzymes, to take things like a B complex, or even vitamin D, so that we can always make sure we're getting the very best out of that range. 4 to 8 capsules is ideal for this gastric emptying. The products that regulate gastric emptying are isotonic products because they regulate gastric emptying, do deliver that message of concentration. It's the right ratio of nutrients and sugars to make sure that things get efficiently absorbed in the small intestine. When compared to tablets, the timing can be as much as 30 minutes longer with a capsule and as much as 4 hours with a fat soft gel. So there's a lot of time in there where these nutrients can be degraded by stomach acid when they are not delivered in an isotonic form. Now, did Market Hong Kong and Market America take this into consideration with our tablets, our capsules, and our soft gelatin? We absolutely did. We are always paying attention to protecting the contents of any one of our supplements, be that a curcuma product, be that an omega-3 fatty acid product, or be it a botanical product that comes in a tablet or a capsule. We're always paying attention to what is the best delivery for these nutrients. And that's why you won't see everything in an isotonic label. Let's understand for your customers and for your business partners the benefits of each one of the ingredients that's in isotonics. I mentioned that fructose and glucose are important. They are the carbohydrates that 1, control for gastric emptying, 2, contribute to that isomolar range, and 3, offer a sweetener as well as a transporter from the small intestine into the bloodstream. Then there's things like citric acid and malic acid. These allow for that pH buffering. Have you ever wondered if someone with a more acidic food lifestyle would benefit from isotonics? Have you ever wondered if someone eating a plant-based or a vegetarian diet and therefore very alkaline, will they benefit from isotonics? What you should know is because of the citric acid and the malic acid, both of these foodies, right? Both of these individuals, whether they are a meat-based eater or a plant-based eater, will see benefit from isotonics because the citric acid and the malic acid are always buffering these ingredients. So what? So that the cells in the base of the stomach can recognize the solution as self and move it into the small intestine. So when a solution needs to be a little bit more acidic to stimulate the sensory cells in the base of the stomach, that malic acid and citric acid allow for that. When something needs to be made a little bit more basic to stimulate those sensory cells, the potassium bicarbonate in this product will also buffer to a more alkaline environment. Well, the same thing happens when it gets into the small intestine. These same buffering agents will up or lower acidity or pH depending on the individual's metabolic needs and the individual environment in the intestine, making this not just a novel approach to delivery, but also one that is based on the body's physiology. Silicon dioxide and calcium sulfate are some of the food-based powders that are incorporated into isotonics to act as a desiccant so that the powders don't take on fluid from the environment and therefore have a greater potential to cake. We're going to talk a little bit about caking of the powders, efficacy of those powders after caking here shortly. But we do take measures to limit caking of any of the powders. Why is that important to talk about? Because it's the introduction of things like the desiccants that allow us to not have to use fillers and binders in this product. Because they are specially formulated to clear the stomach very efficiently, and because we are able to offer a no gluten, no dairy, protein free of soy, make the isotonics a vegetarian option, having no yeast, artificial colors, or preservatives. You have not just a product for superior delivery, for an innovative and based on physiology delivery system, but also one that meets the purity standards of many supplement takers today. But is isotonics the number one thing that makes you special? What are all of the things that make us the number one choice, not just in delivery, but in supplements all around? Well, it's basing our formulas on science. It's basing our formulas on evidenced ingredients like pycnogenol. With over 40 years of research, pycnogenol is the leader in antioxidant research, and therefore one of the more powerful ingredients you could add to a supplement regimen. And we have it in things like the OPC3 isotonic line. We have it in the OPC3 chews. We utilize the pycnogenol in some of the beauty skin products, whether it's beauty from the inside out or topical beauty. We know that the key ingredients of the isotonic OPC3 also answer the question, not just of clinical efficacy or clinical evidence, but also on the nature of the body to need more than one type of free radical scavenger to support all tissues and all compartments in the body. That's why OPC3 doesn't just have pycnogenol, but has a supporting group of antioxidants like red grape skins, or the skins of red wine grapes, grapeseed extract, a very powerful blood support antioxidants, vascular support, and even fitness support antioxidant. Bilberry extract, one of my favorite antioxidants, because it's something that works after all of the other antioxidants have supported cellular health. Bilberry works on very tiny microvascular tissue like those in the eyes, in the fingertips, capillary beds, but it also happens to clean up a lot of cellular debris after metabolism has happened. And citrus bioflavonoids, part of what comprises this higher bioavailability, a superior delivery system, is maximizing different types of antioxidants. And citrus bioflavonoids help recycle the other powerful antioxidants in the OPC3 product. Is so important when we're talking to our customers that we mention not just the benefits of the isotonic delivery system, but that we also mention the benefits of a clinically evidenced ingredient like pycnogenol, and that we go one step further to talk to them about the comprehensive solution that those 5 different free radical scavengers offer in the OPC3 product, because oxidative stress is implicated in countless chronic health concerns, even the aging process in those that keep their bodies very healthy. We understand that the aging process is also intimately linked to oxidative stress. And so we want to think about a powerful antioxidant for day-to-day living. OPC3, curcuma, coenzyme Q10, like that found in the Youth Plus or found in the isochrome product, these are all powerful free radical scavengers. And we offer through the isotonic delivery and science-based nutraceuticals unique formulations to meet an individual's day-to-day health concerns. Now, a common question I get asked is, what about fat solubles? Isotonics are a water-based solution. How is it that fat-soluble vitamins can work the way they do? A great example is the isotonic vitamin D3 with K2 powder. This is, by and large, nothing but fat solubles. So what we do is make sure that all of the isotonics are isotonic capable, even when most of them are a vitamin D or a fat soluble antioxidant like coenzyme Q10 or K2. We do this by wrapping these fat-soluble nutrients in fatty beadlets. These fatty beadlets are kind of like bubbles in your soap. right? Where they're able to float on top of an oily residue and start to break things down. Well, what's happening is those fatty beadlets are protecting the fat soluble nutrients like vitamin D3 or K2, and allowing them to let the sugars in isotonics, the citric and malic acid in isotonics, render everything in that isomolar range. So these quickly get moved into the small intestine for absorption. It's then that that nature of the bubble or that fatty beadlet breaks open and allows these to be delivered. So that fatty beadlet is specifically formulated to work with the glucose, the fructose. Now, what about timing of supplements? That's an important factor. And I think the vitamin D that I just talked about, the Vital Youth Plus, as well as the isochrome, are great examples of products that you do not need to worry about taking on an empty stomach. Why? Because they're fat soluble. So when it comes to these nutrients, you can, for customers that say they can't take something in the morning or they're already taking a lot of isotonics in the morning, to simply allow them to take these types of products that have a large load of fat solubles in them later in the day. At the end, what I want you guys to know is that the stomach is mostly empty after about 75 minutes. And what that means to you is isotonics do not require being taken only in the morning, as long as they're taken about 75 minutes away from food. And that is 75 minutes after food, not before food. So as long as you wait a long enough period of time, 5 minutes for each capful of your isotonics, you can then eat again. So just make sure that you're taking them about 75 minutes away from food. Digestive enzymes and your B complex are other great examples of isotonics that do not require to be taken in the morning or only on an empty stomach. Digestive enzymes are often taken with food, so they can work on the food and help you digest them, help you gain access to the energy that your fats, your carbohydrates, and your proteins offer you. The digestive enzyme is a full spectrum of enzymes to break down those three macro group food categories: proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Because it is such a powerful product, it can be taken both away from food, where it works on the intestine, or it can be taken with food, where it will work on what you just ate. Because a complex of B vitamins are absorbed later in the intestine than right away, in the duodenum, you can make sure in the small intestine, you can make sure or you can be assured that you can take the advanced B complex with active nutrients earlier in or later or away from food or with food, right? Because it gets absorbed later in the intestine anyway. So food does not compromise your B complex at all. I often get asked about combining isotonics. Do I have to take each one of them separately? No, you do not need to take each of them separately. Isotonics were formulated to be taken together. That's why we have some powerful options for your customers as well as your family with Isotonic Daily Essentials Kit. I want you to know that the program was built, the Isotonic Daily Essentials Kit was built to ensure that people knew they could take their isotonics together, not one by one, but also to send the message that it will never be about just a multivitamin or just OPC3 or just a calcium plus, but in fact, a combination of these products that will help you reach your health and longevity goals. We know that regimens get results. So when people want or have a higher goal for health, quality of life, and longevity, you want to talk to them about taking a combination of the Isotonics products together. Let's go over some of the key factors of isotonics. Number one, the nutrients are not exposed to stomach acid. This makes it ideal for concentration and delivery. Two, reduced delivery time. These nutrients are delivered to the small intestine very efficiently in minutes, not hours, like many over-the-counters. Carbon dioxide effervescence, that is created with the potassium bicarbonate, citric acid, and malic acid. All of these things, these inactive ingredients together, create what I like to refer to as a scrubbing bubbles. It's this bubble surfactant kind of benefit. There's no surfactants in here, but it creates that kind of bubbly effervescence that helps move through mucus in the intestine for better absorption. Number 4, favorable concentration gradient. We don't just make sure that the product is properly formulated with calcium and magnesium, vitamin K2 and vitamin D, a complex of B vitamins, but we also make sure that those inactive ingredients favor absorption once it gets to the small intestine. Number 5, isotonics work with the body's normal physiology. Because these inactive ingredients take the active ingredients and render them into a very specialized, albeit narrow, specialized range of isomolarity, what you're able to do is create a stimulus to sensory cells in the base of the stomach, so everything moves quickly and efficiently to the small intestine. Number 6, isotonics do offer a great alternative to pills for people that do not like to swallow a bunch of pills or want to reduce the number of pills they take because they're already taking your heart health omega-3 fatty acids or curcuma. What about people with stomach and esophageal challenges? People that are concerned with swallowing, people that are concerned with large amounts of volume of food, often find that they appreciate the small volume of fluid that they take when they take isotonics by themselves or in isolation. These are my 3 favorite key points that I want you to remember when talking about isotonics. No fillers and binders, artificial flavors, or colors. 95% of the solution is delivered to the small intestine for absorption. As a result of number 2, the nutrients maintain their concentration and their activity to support your metabolic health. While the first 7 talking points are based on why isotonics are delivered the way they are and why that is superior, these are still my favorite 3, making a top 10 list of what you're looking for. In short, everyone should evaluate their individual benefits of taking a regimen personalized for them. Most people I ask to think about the health of their diet, if they're athletic, and those that are either children or more mature years that need a very diverse collection or catalog of nutrients to meet their metabolic needs. I'm asking you to ask yourself and then your customers, is there a difference between illness, health, and fitness? Supplementation can help you move away from concerns you have with falling ill and finding metabolic fitness. I believe that fitness means that we are impervious to illness, and that's what I want each and every one of us to achieve. It's not always about being the smartest. Sometimes it's just about being consistent. Make sure that you're always building off of the foundation of optimal wellness so that you can live life vibrantly.